Fox News Desk.
There is breaking news on three big stories that affect all Americans this hour. First, to the Senate, where leaders have just voted to confirm President Trump's Secretary of State nominee, Rex Tillerson. That's a live look on the floor now. Tillerson will enter the State Department facing a full plate of foreign policy issues, including Iran. Also breaking in the last few minutes, the Trump administration issuing that warning to Iran over its recent ballistic missile tests and what the administration claims are other actions against the United States and our allies. The warning minutes ago from the President Trump's national security advisor, the retired General Michael Flynn.
Iran continues to threaten U.S. friends and allies in the region. The Obama administration failed to respond adequately to Tehran's malign actions, including weapons transfers, support for terrorism, and other violations of international norms. The Trump administration condemns such actions by Iran that undermine security, prosperity, and stability throughout and beyond the Middle East, and which places American lives at risk. President Trump has severely criticized the various agreements reached between Iran and the Obama administration, as well as the United Nations, as being weak and ineffective. Instead of being thankful to the United States in these agreements, Iran is now feeling emboldened. As of today, we are officially putting Iran on notice.
Officially on notice. More on what that might mean in just a moment. As for Rex Tillerson, Democrats on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee had grilled the former ExxonMobil CEO about his ties to Russia and President Vladimir Putin. Tillerson called Russia an unfriendly adversary. He also talked about his love of country and patriotism and said he would serve only the interests of the American people. The Democrats have been fighting some of President Trump's other picks. They're also pushing back against President's Supreme Court nominee, the Federal Appeals Court Judge Neil Gorsuch. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says he has serious doubts about Gorsuch and has suggested he may filibuster the nomination. Today, he said, 60 votes is the appropriate way to go. President Trump today fired back at the Democrats. He told the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to go nuclear if that's what it takes. That's a big statement. It means getting rid of the filibuster option. The president said he wants the confirmation process for Gorsuch to be elegant. The chief White House correspondent John Roberts is live at the White House. We're a long way from any nuclear option having to be discussed. What do we know about the Trump administration's warning to the Iranians, John? This is new to us.
We're learning a little bit more about that, Chef. First of all, I just want to point out the president just departed the South Lawn of the White House in Marine One for a TBD location. We do know where he's going. We can't disclose that just yet, but we will bring that to you a little bit later on today. Now, as to what the U.S. is talking about when it says it's putting Iran on notice, we will learn a lot more about that in about 55 minutes when the National Security Advisor, Lieutenant General Michael Flynn, holds a briefing for us. Obviously, what they're talking about, a couple of things here. They're talking about Iran's missile test on Sunday, one that Jennifer Griffin was talking about a short time ago as well. It occurred in December, and then the attack by Houthi rebels on that Saudi-flagged ship, which they may have thought was a U.S. ship. In terms of the missile test, the White House insists that this is all against the Iran deal that was brokered between the United States, several other countries representing the United Nations. Iran is saying, well, no, wait a minute, this does not violate that agreement because there wasn't a nuclear warhead on that missile. The White House begs to differ. Here's what Sean Spicer said a short time ago.
We wanted to make very clear that we felt as though that their actions were both provocative and a violation, and making sure that they understood that we weren't going to sit by.
Not going to sit by. We do not know what the official U.S. response will be at this point. Again, Shep, we should find out within the hour.
What else has the president said about the confirmation process for his Supreme Court pick, Neil Gorsuch?
Well, this morning, Shep, he had a meeting with a lot of people who represent organizations who helped kind of guide him through the type of Supreme Court nominee that they would like to see. They'll also likely be involved in supporting him as he goes through the confirmation process. You mentioned the words elegant and dignified. That's what President Trump would like to see in terms of a process for having Neil Gorsuch confirmed. He's afraid that Democrats and some members of the media might be, as he said, quote, demeaning when it comes to this process. But he says that he is eminently qualified to be the next Supreme Court Justice, the next Associate Supreme Court Justice. And he made a lot of headlines, Shep, when I asked him if he would encourage Senate Leader Mitch McConnell to pull the trigger on what's called the nuclear option, which changes the number of votes needed to confirm a Supreme Court nominee from 60 to a simple majority of 51. Here's what the president told me this morning.
If we end up with the same gridlock that they've had in Washington for the last longer than 8 years, in all fairness to President Obama, a lot longer than 8 years, but if we end up with that gridlock, I would say, if you can, Mitch, go nuclear, because that would be an absolute shame if a man of this quality was caught up in the web.
Mitch, go nuclear. Big headline this afternoon coming out of that meeting. Now, Shep, the Democrats are warning against using that so-called nuclear option, even though they implemented it in 2013 for certain nominations. However, Supreme Court nominations currently still require 60 votes to get through. We'll see how that lasts. Shep?
Before we let you go, John, there's been this hullabaloo over in Great Britain over